Welcome back to another video of Batman Knightfall. Now, in our last installment, what we saw was Batman. He showed up to Arkham Asylum a little too late. We have Bane, the main villain of this story, with his comrades, Shrog, Zombie, and Bird. They blew up a cell in Arkham Asylum and freed the Joker, Batman's greatest enemy. Now, Joker then freed all Batman's different rogues, and now all Batman's rogues are unleashed on Gotham City. Now, Batman showed up a little too late. He saved Jeremiah Arkham, but he came to the realization that not only is he weak, yes, Batman's a little sick, guys, he's not his prime, he's weak, but now he has to fight off against all his villains in one night. It's gonna be a long night, and at the end of it, he'll go up against the big villain, Bane. Now, will Batman make it through the night? Will Bane be successful in breaking the bats? And how will Robin do? Because Robin is tagging along for this whole journey with Batman, and he's a little worried for Batman, right? Because he thinks Batman isn't up for the job. Batman's weak, and he should be at the Wayne Manor just resting with Alfred, not out fighting off crime, right? But we'll see what happens next in this story as we dive into Detective Comics number 659. It began last night. By a twist of fate, none of them know or care. The walls of Arkham came tumbling down, and now they are free to gather my legions once more. They thought to imprison a god, to contain Maxi Zeus. Ha! I had only to call down thunderbolts to wrest me from their feeble grasp. For am I not? Then we see Maxi Zeus. He runs into a tree near a wood. He falls to the ground, knocked out. Now we see the ventriloquist. He's nearby at another tree. He takes out a sock, looks at a mirror, and we see Amygdala nearby, watching. Now, that's when the Sacco says, "No, Mr. Ventriloquist, I haven't seen your friends, Mr. Scarface." Now, Ventriloquist says, "I really must find him. I can't do it alone. Could you help me?" Now, Sacco responds, "I could try, Mr. Ventriloquist." Now we see Amygdala come by. He says, "Could I help too?" And Ventriloquist says, "Oh." And Amygdala says, "I can help you find your friend. I'm kinda lost too. Somebody blew up my room." And Ventriloquist says, "They call you Amygdala? Do they not?" And Sacco says, "You're a very big boy." And that's when Ventriloquist says, "Amygdala is very dangerous. The doctors at Arkham experiment on his brain. He's quite uncontrollable." Now, Sacco says, "Then we must be cautious if we're to use him." Now, Ventriloquist gets aid from Amygdala, and they start walking down this path. Now, Ventriloquist says, "You may help me find Scarface, Amygdala. I am the Ventriloquist." Now, Amygdala says, "And what is your little friend's name?" And Sacco says, Sacco." And Amygdala responds, "Am I supposed to get my medicine soon?" Now we see Batman and Robin. They show up to the crime scene of the film freak. Now, Batman holds the film freak's hand, says, "I half expected this. Obviously, it's Bane's work, but why?" In last installment, guys, we saw Bane beat the crap out of Film Freak, right? He threw him to a trash can, headbutt him a bunch of times. Now, Batman continues to say, "No sign of entry wounds, no evidence that a weapon was used. It looks like every bone in his body is broken. As hard as it is to believe, Film Freak was beaten to death by someone using only their bare fist. Are you alright, Robin?" Now, Robin hesitates and he says, "Sure, Batman." Now, that's when we see his detective shows up to the crime scene as Batman and Robin get away. And the detective shows up and he looks at it. He's interested. And he sees the film freak pretty much by his trash case, knocked out. And the detective says, "What should we tell the commissioner?" And he's thinking, "Well, I'll just tell him we don't have to look for this one anymore." So the film freak, yes, he's off the list. He's not a villain that Gotham has to worry about anymore. But a new villain is in town, Bane. And that's a bigger problem. Now, we shift. And we see Batman and Robin. They show up to the Bat Cave. Now, Batman says, "We'll stay mobile for now. Chances are we can nail more of the escapees before they can get to deep cover. Not that I'm comfortable with that strategy." Now, Robin says, "I'm sure we won't have to look for all of them. Some of them will be looking for us." Now, that's when Robin says, "Maybe some of them already are." You hear a beep, a whoosh, and you see a bird right above. Now, Batman says, "I prefer to be acting more and reacting less, but there's no rhyme or reason to any of this yet." Now, Now, that's when we see the Ventriloquist. He shows up to this one bar, and he walks in, and Sako says, "We're looking for Scarface. Have any of you gentlemen seen him? Perhaps I might even enlist your aid in searching for him." Now, all the criminals start laughing out loud, and Sako says, "Laugh at Sako, will you? Well, chuckle all you want at me." And we see Amygdala. He comes out of the wall. He says, "You're laughing at my little friend. Nobody laughs at my little friend." Now, Sako says, "But I think you best take my pal Amygdala more seriously." Now, Amygdala throws different criminals out the window. "Yeah, kush." And Amygdala says, "What's funny?" And he starts throwing all his criminals around like rag dolls. Now, Ventriloquist says to Sako, "Sako, perhaps you're not up to the demands I'm placing on you, and Amygdala is too energetic. I need someone with finesse to help me find Scarface." Now, Sako slurps out of the drink, right? Now, we see Amygdala. He has all these different knives in his back. His clothes are torn, and he's confused. He says, "Oops, did I lose my temper again? Is Mr. Sako mad at me?" Now, Ventriloquist says, "Those gentlemen weren't being very helpful anyway. I need you to help me get something." Now, Amygdala says, "And then we'll find Mr. Scarface?" And Ventriloquist responds, "Precisely." And Amygdala responds as well, "And then I'll get my medicine." And Ventriloquist states, "We'll see." Now we see Batman and Robin in the Batmobile driving by. Now, Batman says, "There has to be a method to all this madness, Robin." And Robin responds, "You don't think these madmen are cooperating with one another?" And Batman states, "No, their dementias make them all too egocentric to collaborate, but they were freed and armed by someone on the outside. Maybe this is all part of a master plan. We could profit by all this chaos." And Robin says, "What about Bane? The one who took out Croc, the guy who was going to clean John Paul's clock until he realized it wasn't you." And Batman states, "He'd be my first choice. Whoever he is, he has it in for me personally." And Robin states, "This couldn't have happened at a worse time." And Batman looks at him funny. He's like, "Meaning?" Robin states, "You're not really at your top of your form, Batman. You've been sick." Batman says, "And you think I could sit this one out?" And Robin says, "No, it's just..." And Batman turns the Batmobile as he drifts. He says, "A toy store break-in. That's the kind of call we're looking for." Now we see Amygdala, Ventriloquist, and Sako. They're at this toy store, and Ventriloquist says, "This won't work at all. There isn't the selection I had anticipated." Now Sako says, "None of these turn you on, huh?" And Ventriloquist says, "Not quite. I can't very well enlist the aid of a duck to rescue Scarface." And Sako says, "Maybe it's time you forgot about this Scarface guy. He never did anything to try and get you out of Arkham, right? Maybe it's time you found a new partner." Now Ventriloquist looks at Sako. How can you say that? I'm nothing without Scarface." And we see the duck. The duck says, "They're best buddies, wah." And Ventriloquist says, "Did you hear that?" And Sako says, "Sounds like a car pulling up." And that's when the duck says, "Uh-oh." And Amygdala looks confused. Now, outside the toy store, Batman says, "Let me handle this until we know what we're up against." Now, Robin says, "But you're going to need help." Batman says, "Do as I say, Robin. I might need you out here. I'll be alright in there." Now, Robin looks and says, "Sure. You can barely stand up now." Now, Robin looks up and sees a bird. And Robin thinks, 2 falcons in one night? I don't think so. Now, Batman gets inside. He's a little weak, but he looks up. And that's when Ventriloquist says, "Quiet. Hush up, you two." Batman says, "It's only you." And Ventriloquist says, "Oh my gosh, Batman." And Batman says, "Time for you to come with me, Ventriloquist." Now the mice says, "Jeepers, look behind you, a monster." Now Sako says, "Shut up, you rat." Now Amygdala's behind Batman. Batman says, "I'm not in the mood for old jokes, Ventriloquist. Keep your hands where I can see them." Now Amygdala grabs Batman and says, "Leave my friends alone. Don't touch them." He picks Batman up and he continues, I'll hurt you real bad." Now, that's what we see outside. A bird is watching Robin. He catches his bird and says, Let me right to him, Talon. Good boy. Just have to find a place to watch the action. Now, Team Drake Robin comes behind him and says, the bird's a nice touch, but you should pick one native to Gotham. Now, that's what Bird says. Sure, maybe some sissy bird like a Robin. Tear his face off, the Falcon goes flying at Robin. Now we go back and we see Batman get thrown to a wall. Yeah, crash. Amygdala says, you make me angry. You make me want to hurt you, crush your skull, break your bones. He gets hit in the face by Batman when Batman kicks him. Now we go back to Robin. Robin catches the Falcon and Bird says no. And Robin smiles. He says, maybe you want to tell me why you've been following us. And Bird goes to punch him in the face. You are stopped. And Bird says, you little creep, if you harmed one feather on Talon's head, and you are stopped as Bird punches Robin in the face. Robin then kicks him in the face, and Robin says, the buzzer's fine, buddy, but you're going to need an ice pack in the morning. Now that's when we see Bird slap Robin in the face. He says, wise guy, huh? I hate wise guy. You are squawk as Robin falls to the ground. Now you see Amygdala smack Batman in the face. You are Spock. And Amygdala says, kill you. I hurt you, break you, kill you, make me so mad. Head on fire, hurts. Amygdala falls back to the ground. Want my medicine? Take pain away. Can I have my medicine now? And Batman says, I have just what you need, Amygdala. The same dose I gave you last time. Puts a big dose in Amygdala's head, and Amygdala says, ugh. He falls to the ground. Done. Now we go back and we see Bird kick Robin in the face. He says, you put up a good front, kid, but you'll never get a chance to walk the walk. Now, you hear Bane on the phone. Bird, answer me, Bird. And Bird says, what is it? I'm kind of busy. I got this Robin brat down for the counts. Bane says, leave him. I do not want to show our hand this soon. Now, Bird says, Bane says, obey me, Bird. Come to me. Trog can take over the surveillance. Now, Bird says, you're lucky, Knights. You get a stay of execution, kid. Now, some Bird flees and says, see you later, punk. And Robin says, not if I see you first. Now, we go back to Batman. Amygdala's on the ground, knocked out. Now, Ventriloquist looks, and Sacco says, now, get him while he's weak. And Ventriloquist says, no, he's still dangerous. Help me find Scarface. And Sacco says, I say we kill him. And Ventriloquist says, Scarface will know what to do. Now we go back to Batman, going by the Batmobile. Batman says, Robin? And you hear, all units, Bates School for Girls, 10:30 in progress. Suspect is calling himself Zaz. He has hostages, requesting tactical units. Now Batman on his own is going to fight Zaz. And that's how we end Knightfall Part 2. So that was Knightfall Part 2. Now guys, that was a pretty interesting issue. You saw Batman go up against Amygdala, Ventriloquist, and Sacco. I really like Sacco because a lot of people forget. So like, okay, Ventriloquist is with, Scarface and stuff, and Scarface is awesome. But what happens when Ventriloquist doesn't have Scarface? Well, he has Sacco. He has the freaking duck and the mice. Well, the mouse. But he has these different, things that give him more dominance. Because Ventriloquist needs a dominant figure to lead him on. That's what he needs. So it's interesting how that's shown in this issue as he tries to find Scarface, but he's led by this sock, this mouse, and this duck. It's very weird, but it's very interesting at the same time. And Amygdala, he's more just the brute of the issue, someone who can fight out Batman, make an awesome action sequence, but Amygdala is still pretty cool as well. I like his character. He's not the most well-known Batman villain, but he's still pretty cool in this issue. But yeah, that was a great subplot in a way, as Batman went against these villains, and there's a lot of action. We see Batman getting more weaker, and yeah, Batman can't catch a break, guys. He barely fought off against Amygdala and Ventriloquist. How will he do against the Joker and Scarecrow and greater Batman villains? We'll see in future issues or future videos of this Knightfall series, but what we also saw in this issue is Robin versus Bird. And I thought that was a really cool sequence as Robin goes after Bird, they fight off a little bit, Robin actually gets the upper hand, but then Bird barely gets the upper hand at the end and takes him down. Now, the call of Bane, where Bane's like, nope, just leave him, this isn't a part of the plan, was pretty good, right? It shows that Bane is really thinking ahead. Now guys, I hope you enjoy my Bane voice. I'm trying to make it more muffled like Tom Hardy's Bane in Dark Knight Rises. It's gonna get better as we go, but Bane wasn't really in this installment that much. We more just saw Batman go up against a few villains and Bird versus Robin, but Bane's gonna show up more as the story progresses. So expect me to really get that Bane voice down, right? And I hope you guys give me your comments on that down below. Did you like my Bane voice in this video? Do you think it should be better, just more deeper or more muffled? You guys tell me. But yeah guys, I'm overall gonna give this issue, part 2 of Knightfall, an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a solid installment. Not a lot happened, but there's a good action and some plot progression, right? But yeah guys, if you liked the video, give a big thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this issue. And yeah guys, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you miss my next Batman Knightfall video. But I guess there's nothing left to say guys, but thanks for watching and peace out.